So now this guy's using the reciprocator tool from the inside to try to get the old windshield off. He hasn't completely removed those two things on the posts. There it is, the old one's coming off right now. Now he's going to do the same thing to the other side. There's the old one coming off. Bye-bye Mustang logo, it's got to be done. Now he should clear off all that old adhesive from the frame. The tool here looks like just some long knife on a stick, and he's using to strip off the old insulation. He's removing the old adhesive with that long tool on a stick there. He's short like me and has to stand up on a ladder. There he is, using an air tool to blow off all the old excess. Now what they're up to is they're applying the gasket to the new windshield, and they can just drop it right in that spot now that he's got the spot clean. Looks to me like that's some kind of solid plus some form of stuff in a pump. Here's the new one. They're letting it sit and let it dry. And here's the old one that just came out. Bye, Pony logo. You can see what the deal is on this. This is a solid weather stripping, and it's put in there with adhesive. This is a little more complicated piece, or actually this is what it actually looks like. And that's Florida right inside there. On goes the adhesive. Now he's using alcohol or something to clean off the railings before he puts the adhesive on. On goes the adhesive. There goes the new one on. That's the part I'd had trouble with, because my arms are short. I think this is where all the art comes on. These guys are adjusting this to make sure that that insulation adhesive lays in there just right so it doesn't leak. They're giving me a non-leak guarantee, which is cool. And this is where all that stuff happens. There it is, molding's going back on. These guys are about done. They still have to reattach the mirror. One more thing to say about this thing here. They're probably going to try to sell that piece of glass. It's not broke. Somebody that's trying to flip a car would be happy to have that for some amount of money. They would put it on the car and the car would drive away and they wouldn't care that it had a bunch of little sand spots in it. And maybe the ultimate buyer won't care if there's a bunch of little sand spots in it, but I cared. That's why I'm getting this thing replaced. I'm just pointing out to you that buying a used windshield isn't always the greatest thing ever in the world. If I were really responsible, I probably would have run a hammer through that before I brought it in there so they wouldn't try to sell it, but I'm not going to be that calculating. Maybe they'll do us all a favor and throw it out. The dumpster's right over there and it's not in it. Anyway, think about that for future. All right, robot, we're out of here. See how much more pleasant this glass is after I got it replaced. There's no little specks in it. There's no all sorts of stuff. It doesn't have the pony logo, but I don't care. There's the Born On place. I'm going to look and see if it's Chinese or not in a minute. But I'd say bueno, and I'm glad I paid somebody else to do it instead of me.